More you're friendly with the campaign. Do you have anything else besides this? Other sort of literature like that and stuff.
Having a chance is impressive.
Mas nunca me has fallado. Oh, I like that side. La espera termina. Sé que has vencido. Nunca me has fallado. En ti confiaré, tu promesa sigue en pie, tú eres fiel. Confiado andaré, en tus manos estaré, siempre has sido fiel. La noche acabará, tu palabra se cumplirá, mi corazón te alabará. Cristo mi Salvador, cúbreme con tu amor, mi corazón te alabará. En ti confiaré, tu promesa sigue en pie, tú eres fiel. Confiado andaré, en tus manos estaré.
And then we'll do it. Let me ask you this: what are some 1, 2, 3, 4 things you say? I think the baby is going to help the black community move. What she stands for, what she stands for. I get the basics of what it is, but is there anything else in speech or feel? You know what I mean?
Well, speech here, she's certainly a pretty good dose of that. The only thing, if you're trying to sell it when it comes to that, just make sure you're mindful if you're talking specifically about black community issues, that you're just careful not to kind of get too far down the BLM rabbit hole and kind of like different argument about that kind of stuff. She has a strong position on that, but it just sometimes it matters how you're presenting it. But she's really about actually getting down and helping people. Obviously, certain groups she's out there to deal with those people. Obviously, she carries well out.
Why I say that? The reason why I say that, I'm in this area a lot. So I come into these conversations a lot, and I just maybe get my thoughts and ideas on like the 1, 2, 3s. The 1, 2, 3s on what they are. Well, other than the Republican values and morals and what she stands for, which are, I got those down pretty good, but I thought maybe some of the other ways.
On her website, she goes over some stuff. One of the biggest things you can make the case is that she does want criminal justice reform. She does want to continue the police reforms that Trump started, but she just doesn't want to dismantle police. You know, so that's a big point that you can make. Is you don't want to get rid of police. You just want to make police better.
Hello, everybody. How are you? I know. Thank you guys so much for coming. Y'all know why we're here, right? So they're trying to steal our vote. They're trying to steal our vote. That's not a maybe or, some other kind of thing. Listen, everyone has a right to protest. We've been talking about this for a very long time now, right? We've had our politicians coming out telling us all the time, even with the looting, even with the rioting, even with life being lost, that if you want to have a peaceful protest, you can do that. And that is what we're doing here. Because guess what? Not only does that law apply to one side of the equation, it applies to our side as well, right? And that is why we're here today. Listen, this is really simple. I spent time in the financial industry, several years, many years in the financial industry. And, you have a lot of people saying, listen, don't be a fear mongerer. You don't know if people are going to cheat. Just go with the process. The first rules I learned in the financial industry, and that is this, that past performance is not indicative of future results. Have y'all heard that? They always say that, right? It's a disclaimer on almost every single financial product that past performance is not indicative, it's not a guarantee in how someone's going to perform in the future, right? But let me tell you, every time I sat down to try to model a financial company, guess what I did? I went at least 10 years into their past and to build a model so that I can understand who they are, what their behavior is like, in order to predict what they were going to do in the future, right? The stock market is based on what people have done in the past, and then looking at how they behave in the past to figure out what they're going to do in the future. Democrats cheat. Specifically, progressive liberal Democrats, they cheat. Have you ever been curious why every dead person that ends up voting votes for a Democrat? Democrats have no imagination when it comes to their side of the aisle. They can imagine the whole Russia hoax. They can create scenarios and facts and people that don't exist. But when you start pointing out why is it that every cat and dog that receives a ballot just so happens to be a Democrat, they lose all sense of imagination on that. But y'all remember the story about Tom, the dead cat, been dead for 12 years, ended up getting a ballot? This just happened like less than 2 months ago, people. And now we have, I call them thugs and black robes, because that's exactly what the PA Supreme Court has proven to be, a pack of thugs and black robes. They have decided signatures don't have to match. Why are they doing that? Why are we okay with people intentionally creating ambiguity, intentionally creating a situation where they can come in and steal our vote? Why on God's green earth would someone not want signatures to match? We have an unprecedented number of mail-in ballots where we will not see the person's face, where we don't know if it's just one individual who's doing this, where we won't know if someone is harvesting ballots or not. But the thugs and black robes have decided signatures don't have to match. On what? On God's green earth, why? Why? What's the logic behind that? We want to make voting easier? No, you want to make fraud easier. That's why you do something like that. Did you know that the postmark, the post date doesn't have to be clear? Do you know that they've extended it by 3 days? Do you know that we have 10 drop boxes in our county? Did you know that? Did you know that when they go to pick up the ballots out of those drop boxes, that they will not give a count of how many ballots are in that box? They're just going to take them all 10 of them, and just dump them somewhere. And then dump the next pile. And then dump the next pile. Guess what? There will be no way to truly account for how many ballots were actually inside of that box. How do I know that they're not going to slip 10 in? How do I know that they're not going to take 10 out? Why all of the ambiguity? Why not be clear? Why not work to make sure there's no reason for someone to think that this vote has been tampered with? Why not? Why not simply every time you go get the mail from a particular box, you count how many are in that box. You put it inside of whatever bag, you write the number, 10. I picked up 10 today. 10 should be inside of this bag. And then when it's time to actually do the count, we go back and first we check to make sure there's only 10 in that bag. Why not do that? This is the most consequential election ever. Someone asked me, what does you and your opponent have in common? Nothing. We have nothing in common. These people won't even say law and order. These people won't even say law and order. What do we have in common with them? We have nothing in common with them. Nothing but a bunch of lies and a bunch of distortions on their side. They're fanning the flames of the rioting and the looting. They are coming to abolish the suburbs. They may not want to talk about it, but read beyond the hashtag affirmatively furthering fair housing. They're going to use the color of my skin, the history of this nation, to literally destroy our country and to shove it down your throat. Today is the beginning of the next 33 days. I intend to be a thorn in these people's side. Not just the Democrats, guys. Not just the Democrats, Republicans as well. Our Republicans, we gave Republicans in Harrisburg the House and the Senate. This is a federal election. Why are they listening to these thugs in black robes? They should take what these thugs in black robes have given them and say, thank you for your opinion. But the Constitution is clear. This is a federal election. This is our jurisdiction. And this is how we're going to run this thing, right? But instead, they walk around here with their hand is tied behind their back. I am sleep deprived for a reason. And I have no intentions of getting my behind beat and handed to me. We have taught these Democrats and these Republican leaders how to treat us. They treat us like boo-boo the fool. They treat us like they can just pimp slap up us and just walk away and do whatever they want to do. This is a new day, y'all. These Republicans in this district and this county, and I'm specifically talking about the Congress up in Harrisburg. They are so concerned about ticking off the blue wall. They're so concerned that those on the blue wall won't vote for them. We are going to remind them about this red wall, about this red wave, and we are not playing with them. You sit here and allow these thugs all throughout this district, progressive Democrat leadership, they cheat. And if you allow them to cheat and steal our vote, let's make sure that these particular ones who's supposed to be on our side of the aisle, they will never win another seat. Let's become a thorn in their side as well. Do you hear me? I'm not playing. I got nothing to lose. And we all got everything to gain. Stop hedging your bets. All of these people know each other. I have never been in a county where people know each other 20, 30, 40, 50 years here easily. They're born here. They're raised here. They raise their children here. They retire here. They die here. People don't leave Montgomery County, and I know why. I like it here too.
Work is calling.
But as a result, they all got their hands in each other's pockets. They ain't looking out for us. Do you think they came and found me, a little black girl from a pig farm in southern Alabama? I grew up below the bottom rung of the economic ladder. I know exactly what it feels like to stand in front of an empty refrigerator door and wonder where my next meal is coming from. I know exactly what it feels like to sit in a dark room because my mother cannot pay for both the rent and the light bill. I have worked hard for what I've achieved in this nation, and I am unapologetic about it. But these people, I am so concerned that the next little boy or girl who find themselves under a rock will not be able to claw their way from up under it. Because what the left is offering us is everything that is the opposite of what I use to claw my way from up under a rock. That America is fast coming to a close, y'all. Stop listening to the words that's coming out of these people's mouths. They are liars. They do surveys to know exactly what buzzwords to say and not say to get you to react a certain way. They do not really believe the stuff that they're saying. It is time that we do better. And I believe we can do better. I'm going to ask Paul to walk up here. Paul is from China. He's about to tell y'all what is happening. Listening to their story, let me tell you, all of my friends who have come here from other countries, they are the ones who lit the match underneath me about what is happening. Why do you think people flee from Romania, flee from China, flee from every other part of this globe? Because we have something. I mean, guys, we don't even know how blessed it is to be an American. The fact that you are an American, immediately you have privilege. You have privilege. There's a reason why over 1 million people become legalized residents in this country every single year. This country can't be that racist if over 1 million people come here every single year to get what we have, to get what they're trying to tell us is useless. And that's just the ones who come here legally, y'all. There's another whole slew of people who come here illegally because they understand what we have. They understand how valuable what we have. Does racism exist? Yes, it exists. You'll never hear me sit up here and try to lie and whitewash it and pretend that it doesn't exist. But in this country, a little black girl who grew up on a pig farm in southern Alabama, who decided to claw her way from up underneath a rock, was able to do so. I am not waiting for someone to open up a door and let me in to the American dream. I am the American dream. I am the American dream. I represent all that is good about this country. Are we perfect? No. But guess what? We make America who she is. We are the eyes, the ears, the hands, and the feet of America. If you don't like something about America, go check yourself out in the mirror and begin to change it with you. America does not exist apart from you and I. So if there's something you don't like about yourself, change it. Change it. And stop allowing people to destroy our nation. My friends from China, they have knocked on over 2,000 doors just for me and King of Prussia. More than that, he said. 4,000. How about that? What have y'all done? Okay, yeah, what have y'all done? Some of y'all have really worked hard. I recognize these familiar faces. I want y'all to hear Paul.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Paul. I come from China 25 years ago, legally. I come here, I filed so many papers to prove I paid the tax, I followed exactly the step, I can become the US citizen. So 15 years ago, I proud I become part of US citizen. Now, my family, I have 2 children. My family live in West Norriton. I'm the Montgomery guy. Montgomery County guy. So I love this land. I love our country, our town. But I do not like the people play the game, play the illegal stuff. I like to follow, like the vote. When I was in China, I have no idea about the vote because somebody will become the top. They tell me what to do. They tell me what to do and then tell me everything. But here, we have the privilege, we have the right to vote. Let's do that. Don't stay home. When we knock the door for the southern family, southern household, we told them this the same story. Please vote. Please raise your voice. This is your right, your privilege. Don't give up. We have Cassie here. She fight for us. We have to support her. Our team is very tough. When we knock each door, a lot of people, you understand, today's the situation, they are not nice to us. They have a lot of bad things to us, but we are not afraid. We are continuing to fight. We are continuing to support our great country. Thank you so much. Yeah, she's my colleague here.
So my name is Trishi. I want to say that we have a group of Asian Americans. We organize together, and then we proudly support Mr. Trump, and we support Cassie Burnett. And our group is a group of people who take our firm stance as America first. Yeah, that's our firm belief, and then we support all the ideologies that Mr. Trump has, and then we support the local Republicans. And so far, we have canvassing more than 10,000 households in this area, in Montgomery County and also in Chester County. And we also have put up 5 billboards in this area, 2 in the Pike, 95, and 1 on the Route 1, and then there's one very close to here. You guys can take a look. It's on the 202 going into King of Prussia, on the 202 on the bridge. If you guys go out and then go to King of Prussia from here, you will see that billboard. Yeah. And then the next billboard we're putting up is near the airport. The billboards will say, Asian Americans for Trump, say no to socialism. We come here, we know how bad it is to have in China that we don't have the right, we have a totalitarian regime there. So we want to make sure that this country will not go into a socialist direction. This is so bad that we want to save our country. We want to continue to have our American dreams. So this is the reason we want to support Cassie Burnett and support Mr. Trump.
But guys, I really wanted you guys to hear their story because Paul, don't leave. But that was one. It was an amazing story, and it's a story that I've heard a number of my friends who have immigrated to this country say that they have no place else to go. If America turns communist, because at this particular point, we're past socialism with these people. These people have passed socialism, okay? We're going straight head into communism, Marxism. When you begin to create a society where you have the oppressed and the oppressor, and there's no in between, there's no room for conversation, you are fast approaching communism, okay? And Paul knows about communism. And he said the last time I saw him, he said, it happens like what, Paul? Like that. It happens overnight. It doesn't come in, weeks and months and years. Look at Venezuela. Are y'all familiar with Venezuela? Yes, it was the wealthiest country in South America. It didn't take long, y'all. It didn't take long for that wealthy country. And I read an article not too long ago. Zoo animals are coming up missing in Venezuela because people are eating them. women selling themselves, right? It happens overnight. Almost every policy of the left is a paternalistic policy. It's a policy where they act like we're the children and we're dependent upon them for everything. But Paul's story, pay attention to Paul's story. Pay attention. Don't be asleep at the wheel. If you're not talking to your neighbors, go talk to your neighbors. They're going to try to steal this vote. So therefore, we have to make sure that we win overwhelmingly. At the same time, we're holding their feet to the fire. We are watching you. This is a new Republican Party, y'all. We don't get our tails beat and handed to us at the exact same time anymore. That's what we taught these people, that they can behave with great impunity, and we will just eat it up and move on to the next time, right? I'm done with that. I'm going to have Dasha, my friend. You guys know Dasha. She is running for Congress. Also, Dasha Pruitt, come speak. Dasha has a story. She's from Russia. She's about to tell y'all what she had to endure to get here.
Thank you, Kathy. So, how's everybody enjoying their 7 months of socialism? Isn't this awesome? And it's getting worse. Think about it. Our constitutional rights are being ripped away from us, and we're not even fighting for them. Our First Amendment right is gone. We can't go to church, but we can loot, we can destroy people's business, and that's okay. Our Second Amendment right is in danger as well, because they're passing the red flag laws. I hope everybody's okay. Okay. Our Second Amendment's being ripped away from us because the House already passed the red flag law. If anybody doesn't know what it is, it's when your disgruntled neighbor or your ex or somebody who doesn't like you can come and report you to the authorities and say that you are a danger to society or a danger to yourself. And the authorities will come and take your firearms, and then you're going to have to try to fight to get them back. They're working really, really hard. And now all of our voting rights are being ripped away from us. In Russia, we only had one candidate, and we had to vote for them. That's what our democracy, or not, looked like. We are already there. Do you realize that if we're going to have a Democrat president, a Democratic House, and a Democratic Senate, we are never going to be the same, because they're going to make Puerto Rico and DC another state. So now they're going to win 4 more Democratic votes. They're going to pack the courts, the Supreme Court. They're going to pass the Green New Deal, which I don't even want to know how much it's going to cost. They're going to raise our taxes, and they're going to do with us whatever they want. We are already there. We cannot let that happen. Anybody, everybody, sign up to be a poll watcher. Awesome. We need you. We need eyes watching what is happening. And there's multiple lawsuits right now to protect our vote and our voting rights. We have to fight this election like we've never fought before, because not only does our life depend on it, frankly, I don't care about my life. I've lived through this. We must protect it for our children and our future generations. We have the most beautiful, free country. We're able to, I came here from Russia. I was 10 years old. And just like majority of your ancestors, my family kissed our family goodbye. We knew that we were probably never going to see them again. We weren't allowed to take anything out of the country except for a little bit what was fit into our suitcase. We were going to the country that we knew nothing about. except that it was the land of opportunity and the land of the free. I cried at every American anthem because it matters, because those people put their lives on the line so we could have this freedom. And the people who are in office right now, trying to steal it away from us. And Kathy is right. They're in each other's pocket. Because if something doesn't work out for them, they're going to have something else lined up for them. They don't give a hoot about us. They don't care if we have food on the table. They don't care if we're paying taxes out of the wazoo. They don't care about our jobs. If they did, then this pandemic would have been over with in 2 weeks as they promised, not 7 months. 60% of businesses, which are majority of them, are small business, will never reopen. And that's the goal. The goal is for the government to come in and take things away from us and dictate how we're going to run things. The regulations that are handcuffs on our small businesses, the regulations that we have on our farmers. Right now we have an artificial food shortage because our farmers have to dump and kill their livestock and dump milk and destroy crops because of all the over-regulations. I can't get them to the kids in my community who are starving, who were dependent on the school breakfast and lunch programs. I can't get food to them because of the regulations. And our farmers are having to destroy their crop. I talked to multiple of them, and who've been generations and for hundreds of years they were farmers, who are saying that they might not be able to reopen or to be able to sustain themselves till January. And you know what's going to happen then? Our artificial food shortage is going to become the real food shortage. Do you remember during the pandemic when you walked into the supermarket and the shelves were absolutely empty? That's going to become the norm. In Soviet Russia, if the government controlled how much food was produced, because starving people don't protest. You do what government tells you to do. And that's the goal. What do you think the goal with the Green New Deal is going to do to us? It's going to destroy, again, our farms. If we can't travel, we're going to end up being just sitting wherever we are, which we're already doing, because now you can't even travel across state lines in some places. This is communism. And in this free America, the land of opportunity, where I came as an immigrant child with nothing, and I was able to raise myself to the top, lost it, brought it back up, lost it again. This is the only place where you can rebuild and where you are not held accountable for the sins of your father. Because in those countries, you get jailed because your father did something that the government did not like. We are the most amazing country in the world, and I've lived in a lot of different countries. If this country is broken, we have nowhere to go. So we have to fight like hell, like our children's lives depend on it. God bless you, all of you, and God bless this country. Please vote. Please sign up to volunteer to vote, to be the poll watchers or voting places. But let's make sure that we never turn socialist. Over my dead body will I allow this country to become socialist. God bless you all, and God bless America.
Thank you, guys. Are you guys getting the picture now? Are you getting the picture? I have one more person. I have several more people, but I have one very special man who I met a while ago when I first got my permit to carry. And the first thing I did, because I'm a responsible, law-abiding citizen, is I found a class to start getting trained, right, on the laws and how to handle it and all of that. And he just walked up and reintroduced himself, and he has an amazing story. I want you guys to hear that. Let me just say also, I appreciate the Republican Party, okay? I am on the GOP ticket for a reason. I appreciate this policy. It was truly the principles that are espoused by the overwhelming majority of Republicans that allowed me, that little black girl who grew up on a pig farm, to claw my way from up under that rock. When I say I am not just here to hold the feet of Democrats to the fire, but also the feet of the Republicans to the fire, I am serious about that. I appreciate this party, the Republican Party, but I am not playing. I am not trying to be invited to their little tea parties or to their, and not the Tea Party political party, but to their little social club or their little golf match. I don't care, okay? I wasn't a part of their clique before I decided to do this, and I have no intentions of joining some clique after. I am serious about this vote and about the integrity of this vote, because it is everything to the integrity of this nation and what's going to get passed down to my children and my children's children. So we got to stop playing around with these people. You understand? I love this country. I want to see everyone do well. And if you are opposed to any of that, I have no time for you. I have no time for you. Okay? I want to introduce my friend, Mr. Ed. Ed, what's your last name? Boyd, and you used to be a state trooper. Here you go, guys.
How's everyone doing? How many gun enthusiasts do we have? Second Amendment? Perfect. We all know what the Democrats are trying to do. They want to eliminate the Second Amendment. They want to take our guns from us. And as a famous person once said, "Pride from my cold dead hands, please." We're not going to let that happen to us. I grew up in Philadelphia. I was telling Kathy, I could talk to you guys about an hour and a half on this, but I've had 7 brothers and sisters in the Badlands. I didn't grow up on a pig farm, but we had very little, just like Kathy when I was growing up with my 7 brothers and sisters. I happened to join the military. After the military, I went back to school. I was going to Westchester, which was in a state college. Young people don't I'm sure they don't see that now. It's Westchester University, but it was Westchester State College when I was going there. I went out looking for a summer job, and the counselor at the Veterans Administration pointed me towards the Pennsylvania State Police. And about 8 months later, I was in the State Police Academy. I am now retired, 20 plus years, and I am a conservative, Christian conservative, God first, family second, then our country. We have to stand up, we have to come out, we have to vote, people. If not, we're going to lose. We're going to lose everything that this great country is built on. Our country is one of a kind. We're the only country with a 200-year plus constitution still standing. We can't have them take that from us. The Second Amendment in the Constitution is based on, and I'm sure a lot of people don't know this. I've got a friend who's a Second Amendment attorney, probably the best one in this part of the state. But the Second Amendment of the Constitution was modeled after, I believe it's chapter 13 of the Pennsylvania Constitution. It is ironclad, and that is one reason that the left is having such a hard time taking it from us. But as long as we stand up and we do the right things and we vote, we are not going to have that happen to us. We have to vote in people like Kathy Barnett. Amen? Right? Okay, I'm going to give it back to Kathy here. If you want to say something to me, I'm going to be here until she leaves, and I'll take any questions that you have. Have a good day. Thank you. God bless.
So much. I had to ask him several times to come and share that story. It is even deeper than that. He doesn't want to get emotional, and I appreciate that. But let me tell you, we all have a journey that has led us to right where we are today. We all have a journey. There are those on the other side who are constantly trying to tell us who we are. We know our journey, we've lived that journey, and we're going to start telling that journey more and more, because more and more people need to hear our story. America is not perfect, but there is no close second. Having traveled the world with the military, I can assure you, there is no close second. I am proud to be an American. And it starts with, if you want to keep America, it starts with the integrity of this vote. Did y'all see Joe Biden would not comment on whether or not he was going to pack the court, the Supreme Court? He said it 3 times. I will not comment. I will not comment. I will not comment. They're going to take that Constitution and they're going to have their way with it. This election is so important. We must defend its integrity. I have one more person who's going, 2 more people is going to speak very quickly, and then we're done, okay? Because I know, see, we work, and I need y'all to get back to work. Because I'm going to need you to make another donation at KathyBarnettForCongress.com, okay? Okay, Stan. Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to save the best for last. Let me have you, my dear. This is, you know, she will probably win the trophy for the volunteer work. This girl, like David and so many others, you guys show up everywhere, and Jean every single time. So I'm gonna let her introduce herself, and then she's gonna tell you a quick story.
Thank you. I try to be wherever I can, but I am not everywhere like our candidate, Kathy Barnett. She is working so hard. I'm only at half the places she is, and I'm exhausted. So God bless you and give you the strength to keep going. So my name is Natalie. I'm a volunteer with the Kathy Barnett campaign. Very briefly, my story is very similar to Dasha's. My parents came from Ukraine. Not very easily either. After the Second War, my grandmother, who was a single mother because the KGB took her husband away. She had 5 kids. My mother was the youngest. She was leaving west anywhere to get out in a wagon with an ox pulling that wagon and her 5 kids in the back. And of course, along the way heading west, her wheel broke. And she said, "Oh God, what am I going to do?" And a man on the side said, "Woman, where are you going with these young children? Go back, you'll be safer. You've got young kids, you'll be safer." And she said, "No, I can't go back. I will die on the road, leaving this regime, than live under Stalin's thumb." So the man said, "Well, if you're so insistent, let me help you." And he fixed the wheel, and she continued to go on her way west. That was many years ago. My mother is now 87, alive and well. But they came here legally, and it was not an easy thing to do. They did not get here overnight. They had to go to South America first. They had to raise some money. They had to find a sponsor to come up here. My mother left when she was 13. She didn't come to North America until she was 23. Legally. Through trial and error, through my dad in Brazil, waking up at 4 a.m. to sell beans and rice, going out on a date with my mother and falling asleep at the movie theater because he was so exhausted. But they made it here. And I am very lucky and fortunate that they did. And I feel very privileged. And we are all privileged. I don't care if you're black, white, yellow, red. It is American privilege, American privilege. And anybody that rolls up their sleeves and works hard can reach their God-given potential. My dad spoke no English, managed to have 3 businesses and a couple apartments, and got all 3 of his kids going to college, not speaking any English when he got here. So that's just my quick story. But I just want to say about our candidate and candidates in general, you need to know where your candidate stands on issues. for your Democratic friends, please ask them, has Dean answered any of their phone calls? Has Madeline Dean responded at all? I can tell you, we've tried, and it's very difficult to get an answer from her. She doesn't want anybody to know where she stands because she knows if they know, she's out. She's out of it. So please, you probably have Democratic friends. Make sure that they know where their candidate stands on issues, and they have to be held accountable so that you're voting. You know who you're voting for. And the last thing I want to say is our young kids, the millennials, the Gen X's, Gen Z's, God only knows the different labels they have. They are being, unfortunately, misled. And in schools, they're not being taught history. They're being taught the theory of socialism, but not the practice of it. It does not work anywhere on this globe. From China, from Russia, from Ukraine, from Venezuela, the list goes on and on and on. People under socialism suffer. They have no incentive to work hard. And it breeds laziness. And it breeds contentment. And it's like sheep just being led. So please, if you have young Democrat friends, send them to ProggerU. There's 5-minute videos, very short, on any topic, including, well, everything in politics. I won't go down the list, but ProggerU, Prageru. They are turning so many young people to realize what is happening in this country. It is serious. We need to know who we're voting for. We need to know what they stand for. And we need to get the young people to understand they are not being taught and told the truth. And once they realize what the truth is, they will vote, and they will vote for Kathy Barnett. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Natalie. Thank you. Okay, guys, we have one more speaker, and then we're done. I want y'all to go back to work. Listen, love this nation. Absolutely. Absolutely. But we got some work to do. I can't begin to tell you the number of Democrats that are working on my team, the number of recovering Democrats. They used to be Democrats, and now they changed their registration, and they're recovering from it all. And the number of independents. Independents rock. I love talking to independents. The Democrats in this district are not Marxists. They're not Marxists. Is that John Emmons down there? No, okay. I thought John was here. Listen, Democrats in this district are not Marxists. Democrats, the progressive Democrat leadership here, they've crossed a bridge. They've gone a bridge too far for the Democrats here. All Democrats are not the same. Do y'all know that? All Democrats are not the same. The overwhelming majority are really good people, right? Like, we think on our side, them crazy Democrats. No, they're not. They have really great ideas. They have a really great heart. But they are being bamboozled, manipulated like so many others. And a lot of them recognize it. And they are not for this Marxist wing of the leftist party, of the Democrat Party. So we have to start talking to our Democrat friends, our Democrat family members, our Democrat neighbors. If you think it's difficult now to talk to them, because so many of y'all are like, oh, I don't want to argue, I want to be tolerant, Jesus is love, whatever. If you think it's difficult now to talk to them, you just wait. You just wait. It's going to get worse, okay? You cannot stick your head in the sand far enough for these people. They want it all. You better start standing. The time is to stand now while you have people like myself, Dasha, and others who are willing to take a stand for you. It is time now. Do not leave us out here hanging. Hold your representatives. When you get in the car heading back home, find your Republican person who's running or who's already in our Harrisburg Congress. Call them and ask them, what are you doing to make sure this vote is not stolen? What are you doing to make sure there is integrity in this vote? Call our county chair. Do you guys know that the chairperson, do y'all know Valeria Cush? Did y'all know She is the chairwoman for the board of our commissioners. Do y'all know that her husband was found guilty about 10 years ago of voter fraud? Most people don't know that. My grandmama taught me in the deep South, birds of a feather flock together. We got to start putting this stuff on the table, and we got to start holding people accountable. Do you understand? Start calling Valeria Cush. Ask her. You better not tell her. You better not mess with my vote. Call Josh Shapiro. Ask him, what are you doing to make sure we have integrity in this vote? Call your state house and congressperson and ask them. Tell them, do your job. This is a federal election. It's your job to determine how this thing goes, not thugs and black robes. I'm gonna need y'all to do that. And then tell your friends who's at work and couldn't make it here to do the same. This is serious. This is serious. I told you guys from the very beginning, if you go in and vote for my opponent, it's my job to make sure you do so with your eyes wide open. You may still vote for her, but it's my job to make sure you do it with your eyes wide open. You will not be able to say, I didn't know. These people are not playing. They're not playing with us. Their masks have come out. They won't even say law and order. They won't even say it. Try to go out there on Facebook and post law and order, you're gonna be canceled. When I'm running out of a bad situation, guess who's running into that situation? And yet, they are supposed to come out here and defend us? Who's standing up for them? Have you heard anyone on our side of the aisle even standing up for them? We see Democrats aren't standing up for them, but do you even see anybody on our side of the aisle standing up for them, except for the president? Do you see anybody? What's going to happen when you call 911? Who's going to come? Ghostbusters? Who's going to pick up? A social worker? It's time to get real, y'all. And then you pack the court, take away the Second Amendment. How do I defend myself when the mob comes and stand in front of my front door? Have y'all seen the mob showing up at random people's homes? What are you going to do when they're down here kicking your son in the head, sending him to the hospital in a coma and then he dies? Have you seen that? What are you going to do when they come to your building, to your business, and start burning it down? What you going to do? Just stand there, twiddle your fingers? What are you going to do? It is time for us to take our nation back. This is crazy. This environment in which we're living in right now, people trying to convince us that this is what tolerance looks like, that this is what true progress looks like. Black people do not need to loot in order to come up in this world. There are some who are part of Black Lives Matter organization in Chicago, Ariel Atkins, who said the looting that Black people are doing is reparations. That's stupidity, people. Black people can have a conversation just like white folks. We can sit down and articulate our issues and our desires for this nation, just like Asian people. You wouldn't expect Asian people to go out there and do this foolishness. Why are we okay that Black people are doing it? It's foolishness. They're selling us a bill of goods. They're using the color of my skin to shove it down your throat, and most of y'all are silent. You need to wake up. Stop being fearful. If you're fearful now, you just wait. You just wait for what they got coming for you. You hear me? The overwhelming majority of Black folks want police in their neighborhoods. Whoever came up with defund the police, it was not a Black person. If we trace that phrase to its origin, that would have come out of some Ivy League professor living in a gated community. That would not have come from people like myself or like Ed, who grew up in the urban areas of Philadelphia. We don't think like that. We want safe streets too. We want our children to be able to cross the street too. There is a legitimate conversation to be had in this nation about inequality. There are far too many people, black, brown, all kind of people who are being marginalized. That's a legitimate conversation to have in this nation. There are people who are not able to take advantage of the shared prosperity of this nation. That's a legitimate conversation to talk about. We need to talk about financial inclusion. That's the next equal rights movement for black folks and for brown people, becoming financially included. I want to be a part of the shared prosperity of this nation. That's a legitimate conversation to have. But when you're talking to these career politicians, these Ivy League graduates, these trust fund babies with their $1 million homes and their $1 million vacation home, and they're politicizing and weaponizing the very real issues. We got some issues, but they're politicizing it. They're weaponizing it. They don't care about black folks. They don't care. You know what a white guy told me the other day when I went canvassing? He had a Black Lives Matter sign in his front yard. And when we went to knock on his door, he didn't want to talk to me. And you know what he had the nerve to say? Don't put her, meaning me, a black woman, don't put her between me and my sign. I'm the reason for your sign. I'm black. I'm the reason for your sign. What do you have your sign there if it's not to talk about me? I am the first black person to ever run for Congress in Montgomery County. Why wouldn't you want to talk to me? Why wouldn't you want to have a conversation with me? Don't put her between me and my sign. That's a progressive Democrat. Some of the racist people you will ever have the unpleasure of meeting. They are foul. They are bullies. And I will not be bullied. This is my country. I know the history of my nation. And my people built this country right alongside your people. Okay? I stand on the shoulders of giants. We all do. And I will not allow some white progressive liberal to tell me I'm not black. Isn't that what Joe Biden just did? I will not have a white progressive liberal tell me I'm monolithic in my thinking. I will not have a white progressive liberal try to tell me I'm a victim and I'm oppressed. No, I'm not. This is my country. I'm taking what belongs to me. This doesn't belong to you or to anyone else. It belongs to all of us. This is our country, right? But there's a legitimate conversation to be had, y'all, about discrimination, about racism, about a lack of inclusion. Those are legitimate conversations to be had. But these white, progressive, liberals, Democrats do not care about my little black life. They care about using the color of my skin to get what they really want, power and control. Our last speaker is my good friend, but just so you know, my name is Kathy Barnett. I am running for Congress in the 4th Congressional District of Pennsylvania. You will never get another person who will actually listen to you, who will actually work for you, okay? This was not on my bucket list. I was enjoying my life just like y'all. I was not intending to do this and the foolishness that comes along with it. Now they're trying to steal the vote. They have placed us in an impossible spot. But fortunately, my God specializes in impossible spots. We just got to get off the couch, start walking these streets, and start talking to people. You understand? That's what I'm going to need you to do. If you have not subscribed to my page, KathyBarnettForCongress.com, please correct that error. If you have not donated to us, KathyBarnettForCongress.com, please eradicate that error, mitigate that today, okay? Because my opponent has received almost $500,000 the last time I checked from 194 different PACs. Who do you think, who owns who in that scenario? You guys have made me viable. This race that they told me wasn't worth me really doing any work for, we're now in a dead heat. How about that? She has agreed to 3 debates. The first, well, forum. You know, they don't call them debates anymore. People get COVID. So forum. She's agreed to 3 forums. You don't agree to 3 forums because you think you got this sewed up, okay? Okay? It's in a dead heat. I'm not playing. This is my nation. I intend to take it back because the next little boy and girl who find themselves underneath a rock, like I once was, I need them to be able to claw their way from up under there. I need this country to exist for the next little person who find themselves in a really difficult spot. And they want to use the freedoms of this nation, the laws and the rules of this nation to create a better life for themselves. That's why we're doing this. That's why I'm running. Again, my name is Kathy Barnett. For any of the new people who don't know me, I am running for Congress in the 4th Congressional District of Pennsylvania. Whether you agree with me on everything, we're not supposed to. We're individuals, and best of all, we're Americans. We're not supposed to agree on everything. But if you line up your top 3 issues, I'm sure we will agree. I love my country. I want to see everyone do well. And I am tired of the manipulations. I am tired of the division. What has all of this division and hatred gotten us? We're worse off. I'm exhausted of being told I gotta be mad all the time. Aren't y'all tired? Every time, I can't even watch news anymore, and I'm running for Congress. I need to be able to watch the news, but I can't. Because I'm tired of people constantly beating me over the head with the exact same story every 15 minutes. Trying to manipulate my emotions and my thinking. We can do better. And it starts with this seat. Okay? Okay, here you go. Here's my good friend, Stan Casaccio.
Thank you, Kathy. Just want to say one thing. Do you remember the movie Matrix? And Fishburne kept on looking for the one. Well, we found the one in Kathy. Just to let you know. And I also don't know, I also want to tell you is, Kathy may say, let's not get mad, but I don't know about you. I'm mad as hell. Because there's 2 things that make a democracy work. The first thing is integrity in our voting system. Without that, forget it, you have Venezuela. All right? The other thing that's important is that we must have integrity and honesty, although this is somewhat of an oxymoron, with our politicians and our judges. And clearly we don't have that. Especially when you look at the 47-year history of our good friend Joe Biden, Sleepy Joe as he's referred to, because he's had 47 years of doing absolutely nothing except for making millions of dollars for his family. I don't know if you saw his tax return. Supposedly paid $3 million. I just want to know how he made that much money on a politician's salary. But I also want to leave you with another thought. And that is, George Orwell said back in 1952 that as a society moves further away from the truth, it will begin to hate those who speak it. Look around you, folks. It's here. It is absolutely here. I'm going to give you some statistics from True the Vote. And by the way, I'm involved with True the Vote nationwide. Did you know, but by the way, the Democrats already practiced this chaos. In last 2018, 6 congressmen, Republican congressmen, won on election night in California. 2 weeks later, they all lost by less than 200 votes. I refuse to let that happen to Kathy or Dasha. And we can't afford to do that. Here's a couple of quick statistics. Election experts have indicated that 25% of all elections are won by less than 2% of the vote. That fraud today in past election is equal to 3 to 5%. They are estimating, listen to this number, that the fraud in this coming election will be as high as 20%. That is scary. There are so simple ways, and you know, politicians never like to fix anything. They always like to make it more complicated so that they can tell you we're going to fix the problem that they created. All right? So they've made it so complicated. It's very simple. A weekend of voting, Saturday and Sunday, mail-in ballots only for absentee ballots for being out of the country or illness. Very simple. And you have to have an ID. I'm okay with even putting purple ink on my thumb to make sure I only vote one time. Very simple. So I'm going to leave you couple of quick things. First off, volunteer. We need volunteers to watch these ballot boxes. In Philadelphia, they actually have they won't allow volunteers in to watch them counting these ballots and putting them in there. We can't let that happen in this area, Montgomery County. So we need volunteers, and there's several organizations. Kathy's got one, Kathy Barnett, FOR for Congress, Dasha for Congress, FOR for Congress.com, True the Vote, truethevote.org has a whole volunteer list, and of course, Montgomery County GOP.com will also have you can get to volunteer there. I also have some volunteer sheets with me. So let me tell you one thing. I don't know about you, but I'm freaking mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. So get up, talk about that, get mad as hell, don't take it anymore, get out there and do whatever we can to win this thing, and we will win it, and we will have a great another 4 years, and Kathy will support us in everything we do. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming out.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life. If I had to start again,
Thank you very much for coming out and supporting everyone that spoke today.
thank
You
my
guys have a
lucky
safe trip home.
stars to be living here today. 'Cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. Forget the men who died, who gave that right to me, and I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the